Spaced out. A little bit of a different episode today. What it is I've been thinking about it and I haven't really been explaining a lot of the different processes I've been using. So I figured I'd come along into a test world here and one, show you how the pacu farm setup is actually going to be built fully, because I accidentally built them in our other world, and show you just bits and pieces of other tricks, just so that you can set stuff up yourself. So the first thing I'm going to go over is actually going to be bathrooms. Now, the trick with bathrooms is right here. Because what it is the way you're able to get an infinite water supply from these bathrooms is because the lavatory. And, well, maybe the wall toilet too. But the reason is because per use it uses 5 kilograms of water. Well, it pumps out 11.7 kilograms of water per use. So you're getting over double the water you put in. And then once you, of course, filter that and deal with the food poisoning, you now have clean water. So that's the entire point. Now, the wall toilets use 2.5 kilograms of water per use and kick out 9.2 kilograms of water per use. I might have to upgrade the system, because that's a far better take. Now, showers, you put in 1,000 grams of water and you get 1,000 grams of water. But it does give a +3 morale boost, which is usually why I'll have showers kicking around, usually at the end, just so they can go in and get a morale boost. Outhouses, well, you'll get more polluted dirt out of it than you do dirt, but really trying to deal with the food poisoning germs and everything else from the dirt, because if once you get polluted dirt, anytime they pick it up or put it down, you get food poisoning. Even if it goes through the where is it here? The composter. The composter doesn't deal with any of the germs. So when you pick up the dirt that the composter's got, it's still got all the food poisoning germs. And then even if your dupes wash themselves once they've picked it up, getting rid of all the germs, as soon as they go place it, use it for fertilizer or anything else like that, they're now covered in food poisoning germs again. And it's now getting all over your food. So that's something to watch for. So these right here are key. And you know what? Let's actually see what these wall toilets need do. But I think these can only go into spacecraft. No, they can actually go into normal, but well, yeah. You can only fit one in because, yeah, that if you're doing individual bathrooms, that might work. Otherwise, probably won't. So generally, I'd say just stick with lavatories. And yes, you can actually assign. Yeah. You can assign specific toilets to specific peoples. So if, for instance, let's just delete all this. Well, if you put a lavatory, you got your sink, you got your shower, and we'll put a door here, and we'll just close this off quickly. One advantage is, oh, let's see. Latrine is Toilet, wash station, no industrial machinery, minimum size is 12. Yeah, I had it paused so it didn't upgrade. So, just setting this up, well, you got a morale bonus of 2. If you assign the toilet to a person, and then you turn around and you have your bedroom, so total, just by doing this, you're getting a +3 morale bonus. One of the other advantages is, if you can set it up, is if you turn around and this block here, well, you got your habitation block. Let's find... yeah, sandstone. Let's get rid of that one. Put your sandstone in, and you know how I do 5 wides. Let's just clear those out and get out of the room category. The reason I do 5 wides is because it gives enough room for a lot of oxygen flow up and down, first of all. And second is, it allows you to turn around and you got a lot of rooms to get pipes going. And dupes can just hop over the one gap. You've seen this sort of stuff before. One of the other things you can do is, let's just kind of set this up and make it look like it's a habitation area. Let's go up one more. So this is your habitation area. Well, if you come along, chuck those there and like airflow tile there, you've now got this set up as a set-alone room. Well, using the let's see here. What do we want to do? Let's just do thimble read. Using plants like this, because this is a room, and you use pacus to plant them, of course. Again, for pacus, I'll go over a bit more pacus later. But it allows you to turn around and... Now, where is that tile? I think it's actually in stations. No, park signage. You chuck a park sign in, a park sign, and all of a sudden, you got a nature reserve, which gives a +6 morale bonus. And those bonuses allow your dupes to have more skills and make them move around faster. So really, if you have this set up properly, and if you actually even really want, you can shrink this down if you can just use this as a, like, I'll show you. Let's do that there. just by having it this way, you've got your dupes are going to get access. They're going to be able to go through the door. You can just continue the line down there. And this should needs 4 wild plants. So that's something to keep in mind. But you print one. So right off the bat, your dupe wakes up. You have them set to go to the bathroom after they wake up. So right now they have 1 morale. Then they come over here. Now they have 3 morale. And just because they're going through here, they'll get another 6 morale for a while. So if you keep setting these up throughout your base, so say all your access paths are set up like this, keep in mind maximum roof size though, which is 66 tiles. No it isn't. Park. It's under nature reserve. Max size of 120 tiles for a nature reserve. So you can have this going down your main chamber and get a rather large amount of morale going to make your life just that little bit easier. Okay, second for pacus, or not pacus, pips. The way pips will work is that's where they're going to, basically they're going to plant. Well, a pip is going to check literally everything in this area. If there are 3 or more plants in this area, it will not plant at that block spot. So what you have to do is you have to set it up so that you're only ever having a max of 2 plants in this area. Which is the reason why you do 3 plants. You get 3 gap. And then you get 3 more plants. Because then when he's planting here, he checks over 4. So he only sees 1 plant. So he feels perfectly fine planting here. Oops. And then you just repeat it. Whereas down below, he checks 8, so you've got to go from top to bottom. Now, my brain tells me there shouldn't be any difference between going from right to left or left to right. But for some reason, the pips, if you plant left to right, you end up having to have 4 block tiles between your batches of plants rather than 3. So keep that in mind. So, yeah. Next thing's going to be the pacu farm here. This is the design we currently got going in the world. I had to modify it from a little bit from the design I did find. But that's simply because, well, yeah, there wasn't exactly, some of the rules have changed. And what it is in a 9x5 internal. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want 2 fish feeders in here, about there and there. Normally you'd have doors right here for them to get in when they're building, and that's actually the entire point of the ladder here as well, is just for your dupes to get around while they're building everything. Actually, let's just put those in. Once you have building done, you actually want to disallow dupes from getting back in here. Because they'll keep coming in and they'll keep putting feed in here, which is not something you want. So just to get this top section set up, for your shipping, you're going to want an auto sweeper, and you're going to want to center it above one of the fish feeders. That way, if it picks any algae up that it's going to use for food, and it can't, for some reason, complete the deposit, it'll just drop and sit here. It won't go into the tank and give your pacus more food. And with that, we're going to want a cycle sensor. And we're going to hook that up to that auto sweeper. Now the cycle sensor, I generally only have it active for like 1 or 2% of the time. That's long enough for this thing to activate, clear up any eggshells that are going to be sitting here, fill this feeder, and stop. The reason why you don't want it running all the time is because then it'll constantly be grabbing the food and putting it into the feeders. And we actually don't want that. Now, because we are using that sweeper to clean up the eggs, we need something that the sweeper can actually go through. It's because you can see it can slip through the doors, which is what we want. So because the eggs are going to sit here, we want to put just a block here for it to sit on. Might as well let the water go in, but it's something you should do. Brush, I want liquids, water. So let's just quickly fill this up. Settles down. Okay. So now let's get on to the automation a little bit. First thing we're going to want is 2 critter sensors. We want 2 critter sensors. We want them to count critters and count eggs. One of those critter sensors is going to look for 1 critter. If it's above 1 critter, it's going to send a green signal. If it's below, it's not. Next one's going to be 2. Let's just double check that I got this set up right. I had them reversed. There we go. Now, one of the things we're going to want for our automation is we're going to want an AND gate. And we're going to just tuck that right up here behind the ladder. Just get it out of the way, a bunch of things. And wire it up. So what this means is when both of these are sending a green signal, which right now they're sending red, this spot out here will output a green signal, which is what we want. So what we're going to need now is we're going to need an auto sweeper. This is the guy. We're going to tuck him right down here. He's going to pick up all the eggs that drop down here, as well as the pacu fillets and everything else when the pacus die off. And from that, we're going to want 2 conveyor loaders. And on top of that, we're also going to want a conveyor shutoff. We're going to want the conveyor shutoff right there. Now, let's just get this set up a little bit ahead of time. Now, what we want is this conveyor here. It's going to take everything but eggs. We don't want it to touch any of the eggs. We want it to ignore the eggs. But it's going to pick up everything else. So it's going to get put into here, where a conveyor is just going to bring it out, to drop it to wherever you want it to collect. Now let's get let's just quickly get some power wired in here, just so that I would recommend, personally, say that keep each of these cells, if you decide to multi-stack it like we're doing in my playthrough, keep each of these cells on their own individual power grid. It just saves you some headaches. Okay, now what we want in here is we're going to want, well, basically all the critter eggs. Hopefully, if you built this right and you don't have anybody going in, the only thing that's going to ever be in here is pacu. Simple, straight out right. So it shouldn't be an issue if it's picking up any of the other eggs, but this means it'll also pick up the gulp fry eggs and the sun eggs. Now from there, this is where things are going to get interesting. You want to take the automation out and drop it over to this conveyor cutoff. And then from there, go up and over, so you're dropping it here. Now the reason we want to do this, and from the bottom of the conveyor drop out, we're just going to bring it over here, drop it there. In here, one of the things we need to do is set these to 1 kilogram each. And it's just going to be pacu and pacu fry. Okay. Now we need to hook up that little bit of automation to that cutoff. So now everything's set up in here. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, let's get a pacu. Let's get a pacu fry. You can see they're just swimming around. No big deal. Well, if we spawn in an egg. Oh. Of course, when I need it, I can't find it. So eventually the pacu are going to deliver a baby. So what's going to happen, because there are 2 mobs in here, is the sweeper's going to pick it up, as you've seen. It's going to send it over here, but because this is turned on, the egg's going to come out and drop here. Now, if we grab our pacu, and let's actually just get rid of them entirely. So now there's no mobs in here at all. So again, we'll spawn a fry egg, it'll be grabbed. But now, rather than going down, it's going to get sent up here, sit here where this spawner can't reach it. Eventually this will hatch, and a new pacu will be spawned. So, second fry egg goes out. Again, now there's 2 creatures, but it still hasn't met full conditions. Third one goes in, and as we're seeing, it now got dropped over here. So this should always keep 2 pacu in here at all times. And all the extra eggs are going to be for food. Now, one of the reasons why you want to set these to 1 kilogram is because the pacu, where are you? Here you are, get tamed by eating from the feeder, and that taming increases their reproductive rate. So they will reproduce a lot faster, so you'll get more eggs. And that's what's the really fun part, because more eggs means more food. Okay, so up here, so we don't want any dupes coming in here, so we got to get these things food somehow. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to go back into our shipping, and we're going to have a conveyor receptacle and a conveyor loader. The conveyor loader can just come over here and drop wherever you're collecting your random stuff, or you can have it send the shells elsewhere. Now, we're going to tell you again all, but again, we're going to tell you you're just going to ignore critter eggs. The reason we want it to ignore critter eggs is because this one can reach there. And if it accepts eggs, it'll just start grabbing these eggs and dumping them over here, and then there's no more pacu in here. Now, where the tricky part's going to be is you're going to have a conveyor line coming in, and this line is going to have to be full of your algae, because then the algae will come in, they'll sit in here, so that when this turns on, it's going to grab the algae, fill these feeders with 1 kilogram each, which then gets the buff and tames the pacu. And tame pacu will also reproduce faster. So overall, this will produce a decent amount of food. Like this... Yeah, I've got a lot of fry eggs sitting here. So this system, that's how the system works. So that's a bit of the tutorial here. So right now that's all. Well, no, I got one other thing I want to one other thing I want to explain, but I figured I'd get these out. Now, for food storage, there's 2 things that you need to do for food storage. First thing is, let's just do that. We'll do that. And yeah, I don't want you to be that big. This is called a liquid lock. Now the reason this works is if you go over to gases, where... no, it's not ventilation overlay I wanted. When dealing with gases, liquids and gases can't occupy the same spot. So because there's vacuum here and vacuum here, none of the gases in here can go anywhere. So, when it comes to food, there's 2 things that are needed in order to keep your food fresh longer. One is a sterile atmosphere. This is something like chlorine, carbon dioxide, something along those lines, just not oxygen. The second is freezing, which is why a water lock here is a bad idea if you're going to go the freeze route. Because, well, freezing will make it so that you do not have to worry about running out of food because, well, it's not going to go bad. Freezing could cause those waters to freeze and then you can't get access to it. So if you're going to go freezing route, what you really need to do is, first of all, you're going to have to most assuredly, you're going to need an airlock. Because what it is you want this here always be in a vacuum, because you don't want to spread around any of the heat. Or any of the cold, really. So let's get our heat gun. Meh. Yes, oxygen can actually liquefy and freeze. So you can see your temperature in here is dropping. It's going to take a little bit, but it is dropping. The insulated tiles, or abyssalite if you're using the mods that make you be able to make natural tile, are really going to be useful here, because you need this to get into the negatives and stay there. So let's see. So if we drop some raw egg in there, you can see the raw egg is, well, it's hitting unrefrigerated. So what we need is its internal temperature to cool down, which is it's slowly doing. There we go. So once it's in refrigerated, it will slow the spoilage. If you get it to less than -18 and it goes to freezing, it spoils even slower. You see it's hovering right now about 0.3 degrees. Why aren't you cold in here? There we go. So now we got it down to deep freeze. And now it's going to greatly increase your food store. The problem is, anytime your dupes walk in here to get food, well, guess what's going to happen? It's going to let out all the cold and everything else like this. That's why you want to vacuum, because then hopefully what you should theoretically set up is a gas vent, so that once this thing cycles, it's going to pull the gas and dump it back into here. Now really there's no real good way of doing this. Well, actually there is, but I've never gotten to that level myself. And the one way of doing it is you replace this with, let's see, we need what? Visco gel. Oop. Well, if you want to keep your deep freeze going, you got to have it so that it's above -30, which it's not. So theoretically speaking, once this hits Yeah, in case you haven't tell, I'm not exactly familiar with the sandbox system. Well, theoretically, this should warm up and melt. At some point. But really, you want one of the gels here, just so your dupe can go in and out without the gases getting in, and then you just pump your gases back out. And that will keep your food for a very long time. Because you lose... Actually, let's get a sterile atmosphere in there. Let's see. I want gases. Let's go carbon dioxide. Fill that up with carbon dioxide. Oh, there's the gel going. So we look at our food. It's in a sterile atmosphere. It's deep frozen, which again we need to keep it less than negative 18 degrees. And because it's got those two conditions, the amount it deteriorates per cycle is 0. So that egg, at this point, will never go bad. So you can use these tricks in order to keep your food for pretty much ever. So if you start producing a lot more, you can do it, and then if something happens and you can't produce for a while, you've got plenty of food. So, let's see. You want to hold off on something like polluted water. Mainly because it off-gases, you now get pollution in here. And because there's pollutants in there, it decays a lot faster. Figured to give you that heads up just to make it easy. So the last thing is for liquids. I think there's a liquid you can use to get away with it, but I'm not 100% certain. So put that back. Put that back. And let's just destroy these. And we want... I think it's salt water. No, we don't want salt water. Salt water freezes at -7. Maybe brackish water. Let's check that. Or brine. So brine freezes at -22. So if you can get in here to sit at -20 and hold it at -20, you can use this method for liquid lock and be able to get access and be able to get your food. So, with that being done, that's that's about as best as I can think of. If you have any questions about any other little tips, tricks, or stuff, feel free to ask. So next episode, we'll of course be back to our... Yeah, didn't really care. I was just charging that to test this. If you have any other further questions or anything along those lines, want a tutorial on something, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do it. Next episode, we're going to go back to our world and continue on with our building. So, till then, everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's little tutorial, and we'll see you all next week.